After the events of September 11, 2001, it became extremely important for federal agencies to be able to share information to combat terrorism. However, there are some obstacles keeping federal law enforcement agencies from operating as seamlessly as possible. The inability for databases from different agencies to share information, outdated hardware and software, and a centralized database that has not been fully integrated. Each of the 22 agencies in the Department of Homeland Security has its own database. These databases are mostly incompatible. The Vice President of Homeland Security for Computer Sciences Corporation, Ben Gianni, has said that it will take 5 years and cost $15 billion to integrate the data from these agencies. The FBI has 5 investigative application systems that store their data differently. A terrorist screening center was created as an interagency organization to compile all databases on terrorism. However, it has not consolidated all of the information, due in part to the difficulty in hiring analysts with a high security clearance.
Some of the major database management problems are that there is extremely poor organization within each of the departments. The systems that they have in place now are not effective for all of the data that they have to manage. Along with that, all of the information is located in too many places. It's not easily accessible from one department to the next. This could be solved better. This problem could be solved if all of the data systems were compatible with each other. If there was some kind of, bridge linked between the vast amount of different systems they have that have all the information on these different terrorists and all of their activity. This is a quote from Clark Kent Ervin, former Inspector General for the Department of Homeland Security, speaking on U.S. preparedness after Hurricane Katrina, in reference to how quickly they were organized and action was seen in the area. In it, he says, "This is what the department was supposed to be all about. Instead, it obviously raises very serious, troubling questions about whether the government would be prepared if this were a terrorist attack. Is a devastating indictment of this department's performance 4 years after 9/11. One of the largest issues that must be faced in order to create an effective database or different kinds of systems in reference to brainstorming is figuring out who is going to manage these systems. There is a large problem right now with there being a lack of labor that is cleared to be able to manage all and look at on a daily basis all of the information that is within these databases. And I think that that's something that's not being addressed right now. If it were addressed, if they had the labor, then it would just be figuring out a way to manage all of this. I think the management problem is much more simple than the labor issue.
It's easy to say that our generation faces many challenging times ahead. Well, with the constant threat of terrorism and the ever-present corruption within our own borders, our government needs to have a secure system of information which can be utilized by local and state governments in addition to federal institutions. The most important change must be in the consolidation of information so that the necessary organizations can respond effectively. Throughout Chapter 7 of this textbook, the issue is addressed that all too often departments within a company will use differing mediums to store information. The U.S. government is no different. The Department of Homeland Security was created in November of 2002 following the immense public scrutiny of governmental agencies during the September terrorist attacks in 2001. As a cabinet position, this department holds great importance. Homeland Security is different from other agencies like the FBI in that Homeland Security needs to have access to the information from all governmental organizations in order to provide accurate, timely, and relevant information for decision-making. Unfortunately, Homeland Security has had a rocky start. It has been ineffective because so much of its data is outdated, irrelevant, poorly analyzed, or lacking sufficient supporting documents. In this situation, it is the responsibility of Homeland Security to build a database which can compile information from local and state governments, the CIA, Department of Justice, the FBI, the USCIS, and the Department of Defense. In order to solve this problem, a number of different events must occur. The first is to contact all necessary departments and inform them that the current form of communication must be changed. Clearly, there is a problem with the way that things are running. The Department of Homeland Security needs to be the basis of every piece of information. A simple and cost-effective way to make these necessary changes will be to hire a consultant to review the material in which information is transferred and find ways that communication can improve. Homeland Security must also look into organizing a database management system. Even though it will be expensive, the Department of Homeland Security will quickly see improved quality of information. Some other alternative solutions to this problem include hiring additional staff to integrate all of the files, linking the internal database to the web, and participating in data mining. This process will help find hidden relationships in certain information. After all, finding terrorist plots are hard to track because they require a way to analyze past trends. Also, all information must face multidimensional data analysis. Data warehousing will integrate key operational information from around the government in a form that is consistent, reliable, and easily available for reporting. But at a minimum, the Department of Homeland Security must attempt to update the amount of information on the Internet. Even if it is security sensitive, more people need to have access than currently do. They must also hire more employees. They need to have more staff to ensure quality of information. The reports from Homeland Security need to be accurate, and the terrorist list should be up to date.